very interesting discussion. Really, we have from the people I could understand, but the topics which are raised are very important, very actual, very relevant. The main thing is that we do have a lot of interventions over the last several years in the country, and it's very difficult to see at the moment specific results on the ground.
يعني باختصار الرغم انه الوضوح كم بس يعتبر انه كثير بالنحو ملفت للنظر، ولكن المهم نعتقد انه اكو صعوبه ان نرى نتائجها على الارض.
The international community is present in Iraq for a long time already, and efforts are, as you know, are conducted at both at the national level, top-down approach, in order to create the environment, as we were discussing here, to create the policy environments, the legislative environment, regulatory environment, institutional environment, which should be conducive to development of the private sector.
Excuse me, Cesar. المنظمات الدولية لأنه قبل ما تعرفتوا إلا سيزار يمثل اليون هيتمان. المنظمات الدولية موجودة من فترة طويلة بالذات من 2003 وبدأت تشارك في موضوعات اللي لها علاقة بتحسين بيئة العمل، الأمور القانونية، الأمور الإجرائية، وعلى المستوى على الصعيد الوطني بالعموم ونزولا إلى المحافظات وإلى مؤسسات العامة والخاصة.
Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm working for the Private Sector Development Program run by the United Nations. We have 7 agencies within the program. The program director is Simona Marinescu, many of you know her very well. And I'm the CTA of UNDP. Yao, my colleague, is the CTA of UNIDO. And we have a number of other agencies, in total 7 agencies.
يعني قلنا اسمه سيزار مليون دي بيشتغل على برنامج تطوير القطاع الخاص في العراق اللي تشتغل عليه 7 منظمات تابعه للامم المتحده.
And I asked to be distributed in the beginning a little presentation of our program, so that the people who are not very familiar with what we are doing, they can go through in what areas we have been involved and what are some of the accomplishments up until now.
رغم انه بالانجليزي هي بس اعتقد كلش واضحه انه الورقه اللي توزعت على القرارات اليوم هي تمثل ما يقوم به هذا البرنامج.
So let's go back and speak about the interventions I started with. The international community has interventions from the top down, creating this policy environment, regulatory, and institutional. And there are bottom-up approaches, which different other agencies are involved, like USC and so on, working with the operational reconstruction teams, where they go directly on the ground and they produce results. We work directly with the private sector, for the private sector to have specific results on the ground. So the discussions we're having here, that I see the concern of most of the people is that we do not see visible results right now. What I want to say, that we see, from our perspective, we see a very strong commitment of the government to work on implementing those restructuring initiatives we are together designing. The issue where I see here is probably going down a couple of layers within the government, up until the ground, up until the people who need to start implementing all that. One thing is to plan, and this is crucial. You cannot proceed into something without planning in advance, having a strategy, having a vision, where we need to go. A totally different thing, and a much more complicated one is really to start implementing those. To form the teams, have the right people to start implementing the initiatives.
كلمة طويلة لكن باختصار انه التوجه موجود من الدولة والعالم. دعم من الدولة لكن نزولا الى الجهاز التنفيذي يلاحظ اكو تعثر. باختصار هذا. Okay.
I know there are a lot of constraints, a lot of problems, a lot of issues which we are facing. But probably to be brief, one of the questions, really true questions, which I would ask myself and everybody around now is to see what really depends now on me personally, what input I can produce, what actions shall I take to try to advance the private sector in the country. Each of us should ask this question. Each of us personally, each of the organizations we are leading, what exactly we need to do today, tomorrow, in a week's time, in a month's time, in a year's time, in order to achieve a good environment and a proper private sector, properly developed private sector in the country.
يعني يتطرق الى التحديات هي اللي العلاقه بالطابع السابق والحالي اللي طرحته بس هو يفترض وجهه نظره انه يفترض كل جهه تحدد ماذا تستطيع ان تقدم ومتى سواء على الصعيد الفتره القريبه القادمه او المتوسطه اللاحقه او الابعد.
I have a very short time here, so you will have time to look through this presentation through areas we are involved in. Probably two issues which I would like to draw your attention to. One of the major important things is the restructuring of state-owned enterprises, because this cluster of enterprises has a lot of potential, a lot of energy in it. At the same time, it does not have to impede the development, not to compete directly with the private sector, which is we are trying to develop in the country now.
تطرق الى انه واحده من الاجراءات سوري موضوعة الهيكله واعاده الهيكله وما تحمل المؤسسات اللي منوي اعاده هيكلتها من طاقات كامنه للتغيير والاصلاح.
So the state-owned enterprises, the restructuring of state-owned enterprises, the process will transform those enterprises into independent entities which would work on commercial basis. If there is profit, there should be the management, the employees, and they should be benefiting from that profit. If there are losses, then the thought should be how we can improve our either performance or area of activity in order to make sure that we are viable as an independent commercial organization.
موضوع التحول وصار تطرق الى اعتقد دكتور حيدر نوه عنه انه يفترض ان هل عمليه التحول انه كيف تتحول الشركات العامه الى عملها ان تعمل باقتصاد السوق وباسلوب مربح باداره جديده والا اذا لم تكن تستطيع ان تحقق فعلا ربحيه يفترض النظر لها باسلوب اخر كيفيه تطوير امكانيه تطويرها للشركات العامه كلام عنها.
So the roadmap was developed, as we're mentioning here, more than a year ago, and adopted back in August, at the end of August 2010. But the implementation, we're entering this phase, which does require a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of resources, human resources, a lot of people to get on board on that and have their activities structured along achieving the goals which are set in the roadmap.
الحقيقة هذا الكلام يعني هو صدر خارطة الطريق لإصلاح الشركات العامة المملوكة للدولة صدر بعض الحضور يقولون به في 31/8/2010 لكن واقعا التنفيذ لم يتم لغاية الآن. التنفيذ يحتاج وقت، طاقات، جهود وناس ينفذوها.
We would want very much to have sufficient resources to come into every ministry, work with every entity, every organization, but unfortunately we cannot afford that at the moment. We're not so many people. We can hire consultants, we can hire additional resources, but we cannot unfortunately be present in every single entity which is responsible now for implementing the roadmap, if we speak about this area.
النقطة الأخيرة اللي يقولها سيد سيزار أنهم كان يعني يتمنون أنه يستطيعون أن يوصلون للوزارات لغرض تنفيذ هذه خارطة الطريق، لكن هذا يحتاج لقدرات كبيرة من قبلهم وما يستطيعون ينزلوا، المفروض هاي مسؤولية الدولة، وزارات الدولة.
So question again back here is what each of us can do, each of our organizations we're representing, what exactly can we do today, tomorrow, the day after, to make sure that step by step we start implementing the roadmap which we put in place.
Each organization?
Each organization, I mean different ministries, we have representatives from different ministries. different entities, NGOs, and so on and so on. What? How can we do? What depends on each of us?
يعني الطرح مالته حقيقه للجانب العراقي انه يفترض كل وزاره كل مؤسسه عامه وخاصه انه ماذا يجب ان تعمل؟ يجب ان تحدد ماذا يجب ان تعمل للمباشره بموضوع الاجراءات المطلوبه لخارطه الطريق لإعاده هيكله الشركات.
Another big area which I would remember, I would probably mention today, and then after that I'll conclude, is the small and medium enterprise development. Again, in this area, we have worked together with the Prime Minister's Advisory Council's task force. We have developed, and with the agencies, we've developed the small and medium enterprise policy framework, the terms of reference for the agency, small and medium enterprise agency, and the draft law for small and medium enterprises. So these are currently pending approval by the Parliament. So the environment, again, at the top level is there, but we will proceed soon with the implementation of that. And again, here, a lot of resources will be required.
ونوه انه اخيرا انه بالمستوى العالي لادارات الدوله قناعه لكن نزولا ليس كذلك. اشتغلت المنظمات السبعه اللي قصدناها على قانون الام اس ام ايز، يعني هم اصبح ام اس ام ايز بعدين، يعني مو بس اس ام ايز، يسموها حضارات الصغيره جدا والصغيره والمتوسطه، وقدم الى جهات تشريعيه لكن لغايه الان لا يزال، ويأمل انه عند تشريع هذا القانون طبعا ضمن مؤسسه خاصه تشكل قد تساهم في يفترض وليس قد يفترض ان تساهم في تطوير ودعم المؤسسات الصغيره والمتوسطه.
So, but again, when we come to implementation, again, what depends on each of our organizations, what exactly we can, what input we can bring. It's the same issue. We need to act. We need to start to see from each organization what we can do, what's in our power to do. Like at the top level, within the Parliament, certainly there is a mandate on the laws and so on and so on. From the international organizations, our mandate is to act in a certain way and assist in a certain way. Each of your individual organizations you are representing would have their mandate and they can make their little step towards the same goal.
يعني أكرر إنه كل مؤسسة من المؤسسات الحاضرة ويفترض غير الحاضرة كذلك إنه يجب أن تعرف إنه ما هو دورها اللي يجب أن تقوم به وتباشر به.
So probably the only thing that I can say at this macro level, the only thing which we would need to make sure is that the coordination is really good and tight, and that our activities are well known to each other party, so that we don't duplicate the efforts and we go into the same direction. We work with the Iraqi Institute for Economic Reforms already for 2 years, more than 2 years since I'm hearing about that, and that's a good example. We want to have stronger relationships, and we'll certainly continue working stronger on that.
على المستوى الواسع والعالي يعني كيو ان دي بي وكمنظمات عندنا تنسيق عالي مع مؤسسات العليا بالدوله. طبعا اتفاقيه اتفاق عمل بين اليو ان دي بي والمعهد العراقي من حوالي 2 سنين على تعاون في مضمار الدفع باتجاه الاصلاح الاقتصادي.
Now, when I'm speaking about this top-down approach, starting from the legislative framework, regulatory framework, institutional framework, we have to be very careful because this has to be properly designed. We cannot rush into start restructuring something until we see exactly where we need to go. There are good examples, but there are also very bad examples in this restructuring process which happened in the Eastern Europe.
فيما يخص الإطار التشريعي والمؤسسي يوصي انه عدم الاستعجال، انما اعتماد الاولويات لكي لا نقع في مطبات قد تؤدي الى تاخير.
And we are having like probably 5 years now or so of working towards establishing the market after the war and so on. But please remember that the market in other countries took many more years, 10 years, even 20 years now after the fall down of the Soviet Union, where the countries cannot still recover. First, because of lack of proper planning, and second, because it does really take a lot of time and a lot of resources to implement when we speak about really the implementation phase.
يفترض انه عدد السنوات اللي انصرفت الان لاصلاح السوق قد تكون مقبوله بالمقارنه مع دول اخرى مثل روسيا بعد تغيير النظام.
And we have also good examples such as Poland, for instance, with which we've started cooperation, and that's a very good example to learn from. And we have a number of missions since 2009, and one coming now at the end of the month also on the social litigation aspects of instruction of state-owned enterprises.
أكد على استعداد التعاون.
Probably the message which I'm making is really we need to, at each of our organizations, we are representing each of us to see what exactly is in our power. How can we make the next step? What is required from each of us?
أعتقد واضحة.
شكرا للاستاذ سيزر. نحاول نعشق هاي الخبرات اللي عندهم عبر المعهد ويا اللجنه الاقتصاديه من النواب، احنا عندنا شغل كثير في هذا الاتجاه. أنا حاول أعشق هاي الخبرات اللي عندهم من خلال معهد الإصلاح ويا اللجنة الاقتصادية حتى نستفاد من الأمور اللي